Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. About to go into the gym here out in Arizona, out in Chandler, I guess is where I'm at. And I was thinking about this. I was going to make this video yesterday because it was so blatantly obvious to me yesterday when I was traveling. And I'm sure so many of you are traveling right now for Thanksgiving to see family and whatnot. When you travel, what do you need to do? You need to get a rental car. So I get rental cars quite a bit. I've been traveling a lot, more than I'd probably like to be lately. And so yesterday I go get a rental car, and actually, first off, before I jump into that, make sure you click on the little link that I put here because you'll get on the list to get notified. And I think we're sending some stuff out today so you can see what we're doing for Black Friday a little early. So you should do that, and then you'll be on the need to know list, or like the Prime list, where you'll get some early notifications. So anyway, jump on that right now and then come back to this video, or keep watching it and then do it afterwards. But so anyway, so the thing that happened is I was renting a car, and I was thinking immediately how this same process is what chiropractors are taught to do with their patients. And it's pretty obvious why they don't get great results, because they're basically pissing people off. And so here's what happened. So yesterday I rent a car. I go online, rent a car. It's like it's like $296 to rent a car for 6 days. Half of the fees are for the car, the other half are for taxes and other BS, right? So then we get to the airport. You take a shuttle to go to the airport place. I'm traveling with my wife and child. They're hanging out with the bags. I go wait in the line. The line takes 25 minutes to get through the line. There's only 4 people ahead of me. I get to the front of the line. The guy doesn't make eye contact. He starts going through the whole process. He points to the little insurance thing and tells me that this is the whole most common thing that people buy, is they get this insurance so that it doesn't cause X, Y, and Z. When you get in a crash, this is what happens. So he's basically trying to fear me with consequence motivation, which most people are actually fueled by consequence motivation instead of benefit motivation. But however, so he does that. I say, nope, I'm okay, thanks. Because I ask him how much it costs. It's like another $22 a day to get the insurance. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And so he rings the whole thing up, and he says, okay, it's $644 instead of $296. And I said, why is it $644? And he says, well, that's with all the accident protection. And you do the math, it still doesn't even add up. It's crazy how they do this. So I said, no, it's $296. That already included all the fees and whatnot. And so then he tells me, he says, well, the vehicle that you wanted, which is like a normal size SUV, which I'm sitting in right now, he said, those will be an additional 45-minute wait. So what I'll do to try to save you some time, I'll call over to Payless. I was at Fox, which, I don't know. So I'll call over to Payless and I'll see if they can do that. So then he calls over this other place on the phone, and you can tell it's like one of those BS conversations, like when you're buying a car, when you tell them how much you're willing to pay, and then they go talk to the guy behind the door, and then they come back out, just a really sleazy sales process. So then he calls the other guy. He's like, yep, I got someone here. Are you able to match it? You able to do that? Okay. And he comes back and says, yep, it'll be $315. And I'm like, it was $296. So just tell them to do it for $296, or get it here for $296, and let's do it in a timely fashion. How's that? And so anyway, so then he sends me over to the Payless place, says the guy can do it. I go over there. I walk to the front. There's a bunch of people in line. I said, do I have to wait in line again? Nope, just wait after this one person. So I jump in there. This guy, Louie, is there. And so right from the get-go, I said to Louie, Louie, I also study sales and human communication and all of that sort of thing. And I said, just so you know, I don't need to pay for gas. I don't need the additional insurance. I said, I'm really intrigued as far as how this whole rental car profession works, and as far as how there's all these upsells and whatnot. And he says to me, he's like, well, that's the way that we get paid, right? And I said, yeah, I'm assuming. And he's like, no problem. I wasn't even going to try with you. I'll just call my kids and cancel Christmas. That's what he said. And I said, sounds good. And I got my car and I got out of there. Now, I was thinking about this, and I'm thinking, so their training of human communication, their sales training is is really garbage. And sales is not a bad word. In whatever profession you do, you're selling, always. In chiropractic with our patients, we are selling. We are selling them the opportunity for a different type of life. In our case, in Move Now University, we're selling them a 12-week transformation, the ability to transform their health, their life, to gain knowledge that they can use for the rest of their life to make these changes and not feel like they're held hostage by having to go in and see some kind of doctor to get some kind of answers. But instead, we try to teach our patients so that they own that knowledge, and then they go in and they see their chiropractor to get tuned up and to get additional help, things you can't do on your own. So anyway, I'm thinking about how this carries over into like a day 2, day 3. In our clinic, how we do it and how we teach it to our Move Now doctors is on day 2 is where we review all the findings from day 1. We go over the x-rays, we go over everything, and we are asking our patient what it is they want to do. It is a conversation. It is a transparent, open, and honest conversation. And it's saying, here's what's going on. You can either, A, just come in, get adjusted a couple times. We try to make you feel better, get some of the pain to go away, but not really dive deep into focusing on fixing the structural issues that we see on the x-ray, and not going further after this appointment right here and taking you to our exercise department, doing a functional movement assessment and digging deeper to see what other things are going on that probably got you in this place to begin with. So option A is we don't do any of that. We just keep it really simple. We see a couple of visits. That's it. Okay. A lot less time and energy for you, a lot less for me. However, we're not really going to be digging deep on addressing the root cause of the problem. That's an option. Option B is we do dive into that. We put together a protocol and I map out specific recommendations for you on how to fix these structural issues. We do a movement assessment. We take all that information, map out a progressive exercise protocol, teach you how to do this, give you access to an online platform that we built so that in 12 weeks we can remeasure all this stuff and have tangible, objective changes. And then you are left with a wealth of knowledge that you will use for literally the rest of your life and stuff that you can even transfer over and teach to your family and your friends. 2 completely different options. Which one of those are you looking for? Okay, and people say B most of the time. Some people say A. And if they say A, we talk a little further. We find out why they want to do A, and if that's what they really want to do at that point. Am I trying to convince them to do something that they don't want to do? No, because you can't really tell people what to do. You can't force them to do things. You present information, and then you show them that you are trustworthy, and you deliver, and you do a great job. Some of those people that choose A in the future come back and say, hey, now I'm ready to get this corrected. I'd like to do this a little differently now. All right. So I'm not saying to let a patient guide what they're going to do. I'm not like in the camp of, well, just give them what they want and then educate them on what they need. I don't like that quote at all. I don't do that. People don't even know what they need and what everyone wants. Everyone wants to live a fulfilled life and to fix their problem ultimately. The reason that they choose A is because they don't trust A that it's going to work, or B, they don't trust themselves that they're going to go through the process, or maybe C, they don't trust you. Okay, so like those are the reasons that people don't choose A initially. Those are the reasons that people don't choose B initially, which is more of a corrective approach. They choose A initially. They're like gun shy. They've had a bad experience in the past. Talk them through that. And then at that point, don't push, develop some trust and rapport, deliver results on your specific chiropractic approach, even if it's without any of the other corrective approach in there, and have then some time and an opportunity to be able to have them come back around. And they may not, okay? But option B, when someone chooses option B, deliver on that promise. Okay, and I'm saying promise, not like you're promising results, but we are promising to teach them and take them through a process. So deliver on that. Over-deliver. So it's one of those things where they say the amount of time and money that I've put into this is nothing compared to what I got out of it. That's our aim with all of our patients, is for them to be really blown away with how valuable it is. So I'm relating that back to how this was working at the whole rental car station. Their thing is trickery and it's misleading and it's deceiving and it's annoying because every time you know that you're going to sit in line and you're going to get upsold on something that you don't need, that's not going to benefit you, it's not going to help you. Most of us have our own car insurance that covers this stuff anyway. They try to persuade you away from that with scare tactics of telling you like, well, if something happens, that's on you and this and that. And if you pay for, and like those guys are paid directly based on you buying additional insurance that you don't need. Now, I was almost thinking like, how could you turn that around and use that to explain to a patient? Because a patient sometimes thinks, they make the thought error that preventative health care and chiropractic corrective care is like buying that insurance policy when you rent a car. And it's not, because here's what happens. When you buy that insurance policy, that's for your 6-day rental, okay? And if you don't, and Brandy, oh no, you don't need that insurance. Of course you don't. If you have your own health and if you have your own car insurance, I hope you're being sarcastic. So pull me off track, Brandy. All right. So basically taking that whole thing of like patients thinking that buying that 6-day car insurance is somehow the same as doing preventative corrective chiropractic care. That's where you could almost use this as an example. You could say, Mr. Jones, look, going through a corrective process, fixing these problems in your spine, fixing your movement patterns, you might be looking at this and saying, this is almost like buying flood insurance, or this is almost like buying that, and I probably even shouldn't say flood insurance because there's a lot more value in flood insurance than there is in the 6-day car insurance thing. You could say, you must be thinking about that like buying that whole add-on insurance policy when you go rent a car. And you're thinking, if I don't buy that, I'm saving this money now. I'm saving that $22 a day for my 6-day rental. So I'm saving $130, $140, however much that is, right? Okay. However, that's not how it works when it comes to your health, because this is not just what you're saving of getting out of pain and not having to pay additionally, because getting out of pain is not the only goal. If that was the only goal, if it was just getting out of pain, then yep, you can roll the dice. You could not buy that extra car insurance policy, or you could not go through that extra time and expense of corrective care, and you won. You got out of pain, you tricked the system, good for you. But that's not what we're dealing with. What are we dealing with here? We're actually going to the root cause of the problem and getting things fixed. And when you get things fixed, what happens? You are preventing problems from accruing in the future, from reoccurring in the future, and you're actually regaining a certain level of health and confidence. You're decreasing the chances of you having to go in and do a dangerous surgery or take dangerous medications. So this is a huge investment that has an exponential return. Very, very different than saving money on that 5-day car insurance rental policy. So anyway, I was just thinking about that yesterday. I figured I would share that because, like all of these things that you come in contact with in daily life should be opportunities to relate it back to how you communicate with your patients, what you do in your practice, your systems in your practice. I'm very much a systems-oriented person. I also want to do things ethically and honestly. I don't think there's any other way to do it. I think it takes years to build a reputation and just seconds to destroy it. Why would you ever want to do that by doing some kind of like scumbag tactics? And there's groups out there that teach this stuff. And it's just, I think it's what has given chiropractic and so many other professions a bad name, instead of just being honest and transparent and straightforward. So it's not to say that going through a sales process is bad. Everything we do is a sales process, but do it in an ethical way. People love to buy. There is no shame in that. People love to buy, but they love to buy something that has value to them, that's going to help them, that's going to improve their life. People don't like to be sold. They like to buy. There's a difference between those two things. Anyway, have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Opt into the Get Notified link that we have on there so you can see our Black Friday stuff. We're doing Black Friday stuff on our Move Now University program, and we also have something going on in our Move Now U store for chiropractors. So like if you need to stock up on anything, go to that store And I don't know if the banner's up there yet, but there's a massage gun that we got a while back, a really cool like brushless motor massage gun that was sent to Beam by one of our distributors. And they sent it as a gift, basically baiting me in to say, I know you want to buy more of these. So that was a good ethical way that they did it. They sent me one and I immediately contacted them and said, how much are these? I want to get some more, because I said this would be a really cool thing for us to do for our Move Now doctors for Black Friday. And so we got some. And what we're doing is, you should have a banner up on the website. So go check out movenowu.com, create your doctor account if you haven't already. And the banner will be up really soon. But what it is when you spend $1,000 in product, whether it's home mobility kits or neck traction units, you'll get one of those sent to you for free, which is pretty cool, because they range anywhere between a couple $100 to I've seen for $350. We have one. We've been using it with patients for the last several weeks, and it's pretty awesome. And I'm excited because I now get to have one of these at home, so I can use it in my home gym when I'm working out, and we have one for patient care in the clinic. So anyway, with that said, have a great Thanksgiving. Over and out. Talk soon.